If you remember yesterday, here's what I was saying yesterday.
Steven James Dishon, and I'm gonna, because I did it for my mom, and I appreciate you guys that stepped up. I did half and half, but this time I'm gonna be completely selfless and give it all to SJD, because that will benefit, even if it's a year from now, you'll get it back tenfold. Watch. To SJD, because that will benefit, even if it's a year from now, you'll get it back tenfold. Watch. And if you don't, whatever, you don't believe it, not everybody's supposed to, but if you deny it, you can not believe something because it's like, all right, well, I don't really know one way or another, but if you deny it, well, then that's where the problem comes in at, because you'll deny it with it, like a strong accusation or something like that. But it's a good idea. So, because in the end,
I wonder why I was still turning.
what if it's meant to be? And that's why King Neb had to live on down here with the asses and everything, the oxen and the ass and the animals of the field. What if he had to live down here?
Yeah.
With us. And you didn't help him. I told you who he is. If you're willing to accept it.
So, what I was talking about yesterday.
People stuff, but I can't really give you much because it's not. I gotta provide for my own life. At some point it'll happen, and I think I know for a fact that whether or not Steve actually needs the money, and does that again, it's not the point. The point is, do you believe me? What I'm telling you about where the position he's going to be, and then considering the position he will be at, because he was and is not at the moment, but will be. Don't we go into Dishon, the son of Dishon? Man, that'd be funny. My dad came to visit me. And he helped me with the kitchen. He bought me some paint. My father, my dad. So, and I know Steve doesn't want to ask his dad for money, even though he's a millionaire. I couldn't even imagine if I was a millionaire and my son was struggling. My son wouldn't be struggling. That's all. But I'm not a millionaire. But when I am, if I had sons, my sons in spirit would not be struggling. Because somehow, whether Steve knows the future or not, he's going to help me understand what the numbers are for the lottery. And I'm just gonna try to communicate that from here on out. I'll be patient because it's most likely it's next year. It could be on my.
So what I was saying was the next year. At the end of the video, with the beginning of this video, I just said within 1 year, a year in the Bible, biblical prophecy, a day can be as a year, and a year as a day. And what I was talking about is that obviously Steven James Dishon's dad has a plan to take care of his children. It may not be when you think it would be, like while you're alive and while you have funds. It's not like just because your dad has money that you should have his money. It's not the way it works at all. And that's not what I'm saying, but let's just say that if I had millions of dollars that I worked for, I earned it with my own hands, and I had some kids that, if you're successful, most likely your kids are gonna kind of follow in that footstep somehow or another, especially if you're a righteous father. Your kids are gonna learn from you. You're gonna be a good example. So in all likelihood, and then sometimes things happen, like scripts being played out. They have to happen as well. And so if I had that kind of money, well, then obviously I would have a will, and the will, it would distribute. I will distribute it to whoever's left over in the family. I only have one son, so, and a stepson. Wow, they're doing it again, huh? I don't understand. Just go another way. Not playing the stall tactic game. So when I have money to leave for others, then look at it. What are the odds, huh? What are the odds? What's going on here? All of a sudden at 7:55 at 8 o'clock at night, it's a traffic jam worse than you've ever seen in the same spot 2 nights in a row. Okay. But I would have a plan for, to take care of them. But in the meantime, while everybody's alive, what I was saying was, if my son was Steven James Dishon and I was a millionaire, I would buy my son some paint if he needed it, and I would pay him a visit. Wow, they're squeezing everybody into one lane. I mean, you're just something else, aren't you? The stall king leader. What are you working on now, huh? But I don't know, like Steve said today in his video after he said his dad passed today or last night at 11:30, the same exact time that I was born, Steven James Dishon's father passed. He passed. And considering I heard him say it, and I'm like, oh wow, that's, it's always sad to hear that people die. It was sad when my dog died, but he didn't leave an inheritance behind, so it's even sadder. When my mom passes, it's the same thing. When my dad passed, there was no funeral. It was just, I think we paid for the cremation, if that's what they even did, because who even knows what they do with. It's like they give you a bunch of ashes and say it's somebody, and how do you even know? Because don't they take your bones up? Don't your bones continue on? I don't know what they do when you die. I would just assume they just cast another clone type cold body and just do what they do with flesh and bones and everything. So I'm sorry to hear it, Steve, that your father passed. And I was talking about your dad last night too. I wasn't wishing any ill will upon him, because that's not how I am. I won't say things like your mom's next, and first it start with your dog Bowie, and then now next is your mom, and then your wife has a gin demon. You wait for it, pal. Your sorrows are just beginning. Well, I prayed that your father would pay you a visit. That way he can buy you paint. This was a prayer last night. Because what I do is I pray out loud. That's what this is. It's not like I'm saying like, Dear Lord, in Jesus' name, I pray. I'm just praying out loud. That way, because yesterday's title was, it was 15 hours ago. It's time to stand for Steven James Dishon. It's time, because it's time. Like literally, I didn't know it was, I could say I didn't know what was going to happen the next day. I could act like I knew what was going to happen, or I can act like I didn't know what was going to happen. And it says time to stand for Steven James Dishon. Go fund. He needs some help, but only if you believe me, is what I'm saying. So when I hit the lottery, this is what I was going to do.
The first five, all of my numbers were all there. They were all there. The same numbers themselves were in that where I hit the $1 million. However, it wasn't directly in line. So that was the only thing. And that was a way of the system showing me that I'm going to hit it. It's not something that I'm going to guess the numbers, but this time around, it would make sense for me to actually guess the numbers that you're spitting out there, Steve, and put them in the right slots, and then considering I heard you correctly, the reward for that is to just, when I do play it on that specific day, I think it's next year sometime.
So next year, you don't be ignorant of this one thing. The one thing that 2 Peter was talking about is that a day is as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years is as one day. And in biblical prophecy, a year equals a day.
Bam! I'm gonna hit it, and there you go. And then I hook you up, because that's the way it's gonna be anyway. Because I can't really prove it. So, but I'm gonna do what's in my heart. Considering that you have not stopped putting my name rolling off your tongue, regardless of what's said, it's not about what's being said, it's about the fact of that my name rolls off of your tongue. That's it. That's what it's about.
So that's all it's really about. I said that if I hit the lottery, the first person I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hook Steven James up. So if I start from the beginning,
you can go fishing right there off the lake. I think it's might be like 2 blocks from behind the house. And because I know that, here's the thing, when it comes to Steve, whether he has some kind of authority right now or not, doesn't matter. He will in the end. And that authority is something that, it's like, all right, let's say I won the lottery and I hit it at will because the dragon gave me his power, like the power, it's like the power of Baal, the the number of, it's like the most powerful number that the dragon can give his power unto. It's the most powerful number. It's the one. Yeah, the point is, Steve said he ran out of money. He doesn't have any roommates. And if he at least puts some kind of account there, or PayPal, or how can people send you money, Steve? Because what I'm saying is, he's going to remember those that when he was hungry, or when he was thirsty, or when he was needed to help pay his cable bill or something.
I remember that, Robin. You actually did that. Remember that? I do. I remember pretty clearly.
Corvette. A good idea too. Forcing you to. What I'm saying is, so now, if anybody donates to Steven James Dishon because of me saying that, I'm not telling you to, I'm not forcing you to. What I'm saying is, I think it would be a good idea to, because let's just say somehow subliminally I get all the Powerball numbers at one point and I play it on a certain day, and then I can't prove it, but Steve was the one that helped me see what the numbers were, because the first thing I'm going to do is I am going to publicly buy him a Corvette and hand him the keys, and then help him restore his house. Because I've already helped in spirit, so why not make it manifest for real? But I would have to hit the lottery like Robin would hit the lottery.
So I would have to hit the lottery in order to help Steve out, because that's the only way that I would be able to do it personally. But if, because there's no other way of really helping Steve out besides praying for him.
That's just one code. Yeah, and then this is done over here. Now just gotta put the plugs back in. He wants to play. Yeah, not right now. Bad news. My dad was back in the hospital again, and he was having congestive heart failure. And my dad passed away last night at 11:30 on 7/31, July 31st.
So the timing of things is, it's like there's always some kind of connection somewhere. Everybody's driving like a mad person. Steve's father died last night at 11:30 p.m. And I know how there's something unusual about timings of people's deaths, timings of people's births. And on my birth certificate, I was born June 28th, 1976 at 11:30 p.m. at night. 11:30 at night, p.m.
Die someday. I'll die someday. Not with me. Just, I wasn't giving him any glory for the things that I did have or the things that I did create.
Meaning
I
God
wasn't at that point in time.
from before.
So, but yeah. So there you go. You know, my dad passed away, Robin. It wasn't your mom, it was my dad. Maybe that's what I was predicting. You know, I'm sure my dog will die someday too. And my mother will die someday. I'll die someday.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're all gonna die. But,
So, that's where I'm at. And don't worry, I don't ask people for money because I don't want people to think that you know, ever since you and Justin and everybody, when you guys started condemning me when I was having all those financial problems there, and
no, please, Steve. Number one, I paid your cable bill first and foremost. And I wasn't looking to get paid back. You're the one that said you're going to pay me back. You said you did through PayPal. Maybe you did. It doesn't even matter. It was afterwards. Then me and Justin sent you $6.66 because we weren't really believing that you weren't like, well, I mean, you know, again, Justin is part of that group of, he already admitted it, but I am not. So, and that was after you're slandering my name, calling me a liar about all types of stuff, and the fact is you were lying about me, so you were just being a hypocrite. And then it just seemed like you were doing well. You were getting roommates, they were helping you out, and then now that you don't have any roommates, and then with your father passing, 3 minutes into the video, I made a comment on the other video because you don't have comments here on this one, and then I said, I heard from Father told me something, Steve. I have the comment, I screenshot it. I said, I'll paraphrase. I said, before I even heard the rest of your video, I said, Father told me that, you know, it's like there's a bittersweet thing to your father's passing, because what he told me is that he left a hefty chunk of change in his will for you. That's what I said in the video on the comment before I even watched your video. And I was talking about your dad last night, that he's going to visit you because he's going to help you. He's going to help you buy the paint. He's going to visit you. He's going to help you buy the paint. So how else is he going to help you buy the paint?
Condemning me when I was having all those financial problems there, and I was asking people if they could help me. There was a few that stepped up the plate, and they did, and they will be blessed. They will be blessed for that. I just know.
You know what? I'm not looking for a blessing. I already know I'm going to get one, but I was one of those people because I was the first one to pay your bill.
Condemning me when I was having all those financial problems there, and I was asking people if they could help me. There was a few that stepped up the plate, and they did, and they will be blessed. They will be blessed for that. I just know it. I just know in my heart. But I stopped doing that because you guys, you and Justin and a couple others, were condemning me because I was asking for help when I so badly did need it. And
Look here, liar. I paid your cable bill. I think I even sent some more money. I forget. This was many years ago. This was like 5 years ago. And I never left your channels. Every time you got a new channel, I let people know what your channel was. So I didn't want anybody to leave you either.
even bother to come here to find out the situation.
Oh, again, you liar. I tried twice. The second time around, my battery died because Paul Begley said it 6 days beforehand, and then my battery died. So I took that sign at that moment. There's the third time's going to be a charm. Don't worry, I'll get there.
Instead, you just sat in condemnation and judgment of me. And you
So
don't even know
full of
my
shit.
life. You don't even know me. This is why your problems are coming for you. Because instead, you just sat in condemnation and judgment of me. And you don't even know my life. You don't even know me. This is why your problems are coming for you.
See, again, I was told don't be afraid of their faces and the horse malarkey that comes out of their mouths.
Because you know nothing. You know nothing. You don't know me. You don't know my life. You don't know my children. You don't know my parents. I know more about you, Robin, than you know about me.
Obviously, if you're the leading gangster in America.
Imagine that. That's because you babbled your mouth.
That's what you do in the Tower of Babel.
You know, the prudent man, Father says, shall hold his tongue.
Yeah, well, how much tongue holding did Jesus do?
Father says that the prudent man shall hold his tongue. Now, I try to hold my tongue as much as I can.
Yeah, well, Jesus didn't. That's why he got crucified. Because he did not hold his tongue whatsoever.
There's only so much garbage that I can take and so much strife that I'll let the devil deal upon me before I start to fight back.
Yeah.
And that's where you've brought me to.
What, the devil? I know.
Fighting back against your evil. Against your evil.
Think about how evil I was last night, campaigning for people to donate to Steven James Dishon because he needs help. Saying that if I when I win the lottery, I'm going to buy him a brand new Corvette because I know he doesn't need a dime in the world having access to everything. But I'm still going to play along with the role, and regardless, I don't have evidence of it one way or another, but I will still do that even though he keeps talking a bunch of malarkey about me.
Mouth, your wicked mind.
How wicked is that, Robin? You would help me fix my house and buy me a brand new Corvette Stingray 2024? Huh? If you won the lottery, you're so wicked. You're trying to, lure me into enjoying my life?
You're turning scripture upside down.
That's only because I'm fixing it, because it was already upside down. I'm turning it right side up.
You're basically blaspheming all sorts of names. Just like...
Well, God told me to be hot or cold, so I have to figure out who was who here. Trump.
You calling me Nebuchadnezzar? That's funny, Robin. My algorithm of my name has nothing to do with Nebuchadnezzar.
Right.
If anything, it would be more along the lines of Donald John Trump.
I'm sorry, Trump. I thought King Neb would be similar to Trump. Is Trump? No. So Cyrus isn't King Nebuchadnezzar? I don't know. I'm trying to throw things up against the wall. What's that, Trump?
Like you calling me Nebuchadnezzar. That's funny, Robin. My algorithm of my name has nothing to do with Nebuchadnezzar. If anything, it would be more along the lines of Donald John Trump. That would be more along the lines of Nebuchadnezzar. Those numerical values, those numerical algorithms would be attached to that. More so. And Trump is a false last name, so you have to realize that his real last name is Family.
Aren't you all having false last names? Well, remember Trump, what did I say? I said, for the first time in my life, I'm going to vote for you. And I already know you're going to lose. It's going to be a wounded head. It's going to be played out where you're going to have a wounded head from losing, but you're going to come back. I just thought it would be sooner when I was saying 3 weeks. The number 3 weeks of years, or days. So 3 full years is the time that it's going to take for you to get back into office.
Lineage goes to Drumpf, which is German. Okay, and Drumpf, the word Drumpf equals the word serpent.
Well, there you go.
Everybody's gonna feel sorry for him.
Man, tell me it didn't sound like Trump. Hold on, say that again, Steve.
No, it's all Drumpf. The word Drumpf equals the word serpent, and everybody's gonna feel sorry for him. No, it's all play. I don't feel sorry for somebody who's got all that money. Nope, not at all. I don't. I didn't do much yesterday. I was going to do a bunch of things. The only thing I did was transplant that big tomato plant out of my little grow pod over there. And these guys are taking off good, so there's some good things. I walked Ringo to the gas station this morning, and we got some gas for the mower, so I cut my grass today. I took this off last night so that they would get some air, and I did it to see which ones were going to be strong and which ones were not. And so far, I'm starting to see that one is kind of weak. That little one that I've been having trouble with is weak, and that other little one is kind of weak. So, but it doesn't matter. I've got 3 more to replace those if they die. So, it's good. It's all good. I'm going to cover them back up here. I'm not going to, it's morning here. So, and the sun's starting to, you can feel it getting kind of warm out. So I may end up just covering them again. Or I may just let them bake. I may just let them bake. I don't know. I'm going to sit back and mourn my dad there's not going to be a funeral. No funeral. We're just going to cremate my dad. My mom's taking care of everything. There's no point in having a funeral. Everybody that knew my dad knew he was a righteous man. They knew. Honest to a fault.
That's like me.
But wise. Very wise.
Yeah.
Wise individual, my dad.
Yeah, not like John Wise.
I have a dad, but I also have a father. So everything is in his hands. Everything is in his hands up there. So he hasn't forsaken me, and neither did my dad. Because my dad left me with a gift.
Neither did me.
He left me, my brother, and my sister with a very nice gift. Because my dad left me with a gift. He left me, my brother, and my sister with a very nice gift. Because my dad left me with a gift. He left me, my brother, and my sister with a very nice gift. So, you don't worry about me, Robin. I'm not going to need any money. I promise you that.
Wow. Wow, look at that. Now, hold up. Hold up. Listen, when people live a long, healthy, nice life, and then they're able to provide their children when they pass on, before I watched the video, I said, this comment is for the next video about your dad. would dare anything. I wouldn't dare say anything disrespectful about, your mom being next after my dog died and it's all my fault. But it sounds like your dad lived a pretty long, fulfilled life. And Father just told me that it is a bittersweet day for you because you lost your dad, but he was also very proud of you and he left you a very handsome sum of change in his will for you. I knew help was coming for you financially, Steven James, and I was just talking about your dad and his wealth. So way he decided to help you the most is through his will. Rest in peace, SJD's dad. So I made that comment, and Steve would know because he can see my entry as he watches everything I do. He knew that I commented before he said,
I promise you that. And my sister with a very nice gift. Because my dad left me with a gift. He left me, my brother, and my sister with a very nice gift. So you don't worry about me, Robin. I'm not going to need any money.
Well, that's good because I was starting to worry about you, Steve. That's why I was doing a campaign for people to donate to you. And so God, look, what does he do? Look at it like this. Your father is a righteous man. He died and went to heaven right now. Immediately, he's there. Nobody is in any better hands than going to God, like Bowie. So he's there, he's with your dad, he's with Bowie, he's petting Bowie, he's talking with your dad. And your pop left you a very nice, handsome gift down here on earth before you go up there to be, when you go to heaven, Steve, same thing. It's not like I think you're going to go to hell, even though you lie about me. It's just it's a way of deceiving the entire planet. And so now my prayers have been answered. You just got help, and I prayed out loud for you last night.
Oh, you don't worry about me, Robin. I'm not going to need any money. I promise you that.
Nice.
It's the one gift that my dad made sure to take care of his kids. And I'll probably end up doing the same thing. Yep.
Well, that's awesome, Dad, because I've been looking for my dad in the picture. I'm looking for my dad. He's been that picture. Just I gotta search through the mask wearing paint faces.
Well, to take care of his kids. And I'll probably end up doing the same thing. Yep, I probably will. So, look at those potatoes. Yeah, potatoes. They're coming in. I should have some more popping up here pretty quick. Oh, looks like they already are. Is that? Yep, that sure is. There's another one coming in right there. Coming up. So, and I piled up some more dirt here. I extended that yesterday.
So here's my point with all of it. I never left Steve alone. I constantly gang stalked him online. Thank God for that. I never forsook Steve. I always thought about him because he never allowed me to forget about him. I never failed to communicate because that would cause a train wreck. So thank God for that, even though I am the one that blocked you from contacting me any longer, at least through what you look like on camera and your account. Because it just, at that time, it's like, nah, no more. I reached out before. I think I might even emailed you my number, but it's not, I guess it ain't time just yet. But that was like last year, because I was over the whole thing. And isn't it crazy that I was talking about your dad last night before he passed at the same exact time that I was born? It's almost like if you're talking about, if you're from the past, if you're from the future talking about the past, like your dad passed, you know how my videos and YouTube's videos were already produced 30 years ago, and I only just now produced it. I just now directed the videos on March 23rd, 2023. So considering there's time lapse, what you're talking about, a righteous man that is honest to a fault, seems to have the same health issues that I feel like I may have. Like I got like cracking on my lungs sometimes when I crack my chest. Maybe that's water in the lungs. Maybe I'm having a heart failure. Maybe it's because that's why my body buzzes. Maybe that's why I have been jabbed in the side of my side for some reason, like a herniated disc or something, and pulsations, and maybe Paul Begley's talking about radiation killing dogs now, and Bowie just died, and then considering that it could be a past. Like, who was I before? I don't remember being anybody before. I only remember being alive this time, and I was on record born at 11:30 p.m. and that's the same exact time that Steve's dad died. You know how it's like soul transfers of one to the next. It could be something along those lines, talking about future things from the past. Because I even said it yesterday. Don't let the face and don't let what Steve says roll off his tongue fool you. Just understand that it's the fact that my name keeps rolling off his tongue, and it's happened for 6 years, and now as I'm talking about Steve's dad last night, living a long life, being wealthy, having children, it's may just not be in the cards for, like, just because you have millions of dollars, you don't have to give your kids anything. But when you die and you pass your money on, well, then that's when your kids can benefit from it. And then it's like, oh, well, that makes sense. It's the way things ought to be. That you pass down your riches, because you can't take it to heaven. You don't need it in heaven. You need it down here. So while we suffer in the flesh on earth, man, I'm happy for you, Steve. I'm happy for you every which way, because I'm happy for your dad, because he's not suffering anymore. Is he not? Who wants to go to the hospital all the time? It's just a different perspective when people die, and the difference between living a long life and living a short life, living a suffering long life opposed to living a long life with wealth. It's different. I'm sure your father had the best health insurance, and he had the best care, and when he passed, now he's in the best hands. It's just a win-win all the way, because now your father gets to rest and not be in the flesh. At least from the time you're telling us the story about what happened. Now, considering that this whole world is a script being played out and everything is timed perfectly, I always keep that in consideration. But I also understand that everybody's being tested anyway. I mean, I couldn't have passed the test with more flying colors last night talking about what I talked about, because I truly would, and you know it. If I had a dad that left me a nice gift that I'm well off for the rest of my life, who was the first person I was going to take care of? It was you. It was you. Not that I knew that. I mean, not that I knew. Like, not that I know the future. I'm not saying that I know that. But what I am saying is, the ironic thing about it's not hitting the lottery, because you're not playing the lottery, and it's not like your dad died. Well, he died from what you said he possibly died from. He got sick and more sick since he got jabbed in the arm with something that you voluntarily take, and it's something I did not voluntarily take, and I never covered my face with the mask that they told me that I needed to wear. I even went in to Walmart with a Donald Trump face mask on, and Trump even said it himself. He said, I guess he's trying to manifest Trump. And then you're saying your name lines up with Trump more than anything. It's not like I didn't think at one point that Steven James Dishon is actually Donald Trump. I've accused a bunch of people of it. Well, a few. I've accused... I said Stephen Bannon maybe, but more like Putin probably. And then Derek Bros I said maybe kind of. And then I said Jonathan Clegg. And I know, like, is it Jacob Israel? No, it's like more like Stephen James. He has that raw, tell you like it is kind of mentality. So the character would be similar. You would be like a similar character. And then if that's the case, it's like, you don't need money anyway. All you're doing is letting us know that you're coming back. And now, as of today, August 1st, 2023, the person that I've been battling with, sticking up for in the beginning, fighting, battling, and then being pissed off at, hating just the fact that I'm being lied about and I didn't understand it, and then I finally realized WWF. And then now, it's not like a jackpot. It's not like a lottery. I mean, it is exactly like a lottery, but you didn't play the lottery. Your dad, your father, was a kind enough man to leave in his will a portion for his children that they will be. It's not only just like when people leave, when people have tons of money and they leave it to their children, they also have the insurance. And when you have that much money, you're going to have a big amount of, a chunk of change, a nice gift for your children, because they're left with a life insurance, the policy itself, and that takes care of them for the rest of their life. And Steve can act like, again, I said don't let the words fool you. He can act like I'm not his top priority, but when someone is consumed day and night, and they have no rest, and they're saying, holy crap, Robin, holy crap. And they have focused their entire years on just you, well then, I must be a little bit more important than what Steve is acting like. And I'm just doing the will of God. I had it in my heart last night. I guess Father was communicating to me that you're getting ready to, within a year, you're getting ready to, which was the exact next day, one day, you are getting ready to be taken care of. because I am going to, when I hit the lottery, and hitting the lottery is like God answering your prayer. That's hitting the lottery. God answering my prayer. What was my prayer? Well, for Steve for money to be donated to him so he can go buy some paint and paint his house. And for his dad to visit him. That way he can buy him some paint. And that's exactly what he did. I said it beforehand. Because when you leave your children an inheritance, Steven James Dishon, you can now go buy your paint. Maybe not immediately. And I know you got to mourn over it because it's like a bittersweet thing. You have a death in the family, but I'm sure you ran his numbers too, and I'm sure you know that he's in heaven right now, right? So how can that be that hard to mourn when you know that your dad is in perfect hands? And he doesn't want you to be sobbing over him. I mean, yeah, he appreciates the tears and stuff. It's just like with Bowie, you know, I mourned over him. It was emotional. It's you know, because Bowie is like pure love, and so then you move on from it. But Bowie didn't leave any inheritance, and so it makes it a bittersweet type of process, and it makes it easier to move on, knowing that it was hard. It was a little bit different for my dad because he died at 65. It was too early. He didn't have a pot to piss in, and he just withered away. If you live to be 80 years old, would you say 1940? 40, 67, yeah, 80. Oh, wow, yeah, your dad lived a long life, man. 77 years old is good enough. 80 years old, that's a long life. 83 years old, wealthy, a good dad, taking care of his kids, you know, helping them out regardless of whether it's financial or advice, teaching them, growing up. He took your bike because you left it outside, he taught you a lesson, that kind of thing. That's what good fathers do. They teach their sons lessons. They teach them. They look out for them. They care for them. They can be hard on them, but they love them, and they're only looking out for them. So, good for you, Steve. I'm glad to hear it. And, man, watch out, Steve. Watch out for the people that all of a sudden are going to come out of the woodworks and, hey, Steve, remember me? I used to be... I was at your remember I was in high school with you. I never knew you. Get away. Lord, Steve, haven't I cast out demons in your name? I never knew you, Robin. Get out of here from my face. Your calamity's gonna come out and hit you hard. Alright. Whatever you say there, devil. At life and death, I tend to believe everybody goes to heaven when you die because you get out of the flesh. It's just a thought that I had, because Satan gets you here while you're here, and then he makes you think that you're going to go somewhere else when you die, but you're really just going to repeat yourself, go here again and over and over and over again. And that's like hell, repeating the same nonsense. But just in case, you may not, and you may need to be righteous in order to go to heaven. That's usually, the case. But I just think it's more, God is more merciful than bringing you somewhere else other than this place here. And now he's going to make heaven come down to earth. And he's going to use Steven James Dishon to do it. And I'm going to help him. So I've been doing my part in spirit, even though I've been lied to, slandered, attacked by the very same guy that I said if I won the lottery, I would buy him a Stingray Corvette and hand him the keys. First thing I would do. I didn't even say I would do anything for myself. I said I would buy Steven James Dishon a Stingray and hand it to him. I don't expect you to do the same thing, Steve. You know, I wouldn't even think that you would ever do anything like that. Because what's left for you is a gift. That's for you to have. And you do what you want. You already have been resting. Look, now you can do what you want, Steve. That's awesome. You can be a contractor again if you wanted to. Hell, maybe I might run out of work down here in Philly. Maybe that vision that I see my house burning down because of Jacob Israel's video that he always shows about the house burning down. It just seems like he's talking directly about me. But I could be wrong. Hopefully I am. I don't wish that upon anybody's house. But considering you do need work on your house, and you would have the funds to be the you can be like the man now and be that contractor builder guy and get back on your feet again, because Father answered your prayers last night, sending you a gift. It may take a little while, may take a week or two or a month or however, I don't know. I've never been left an inheritance just yet, so I wouldn't really know what that's like just yet. But man, I've been kind to you over the years, haven't I? More than anybody. I never left Steven James Dishon's side. I never forsook him either. Nope. Because he wouldn't let me. You reap what you sow. You reap what you sow, Robin. You're gonna get it. You what? You wait for it, pal. You're gonna get it, Robin. Just wait for it. You're in deep trouble. Right. I know. I'm fooled by the WWE face. I'm fooled by the scripts that are written. This is big time news for Steven James Dishon. I'm very I am sorry to hear that your father passed the earth, because you're gonna miss him. That's it. That's the only thing that I'm sorry to hear. Other than that, I'm glad to hear that he's in heaven. I'm glad to hear that he has the ability to take care of his children when he passes, that his financial situation is taken care of. It'll relieve stress big time. Like, you just basically stepped into a heavenly realm, because now you get to do what you want. And all those people that forsook you and left your side, they're gonna get it, and they're gonna come back to you, Steve. You're gonna have so many people trying to mooch off you, and because they know, and I ain't one of them. I was trying to make sure that you're taken care of, because I do worry about you. I want to make sure that God will answer your prayer, but man, does he answer prayers quick. I didn't even know that that's what was in the workings. And God works in mysterious ways, especially when he takes care of his own people and brings them home. And what they had on earth, they leave it to their kids, and their kids are taken care of. And then it's a trickle effect. Their kids, they take care of their kids. Even if they could have neglected them their entire lives, hey, now they can take care of them. I seen that fox right there on the left-hand side yesterday. Well, looks like my job is finished with the financial prayers for Steven James to be taken care of. It's a bittersweet day because, like, I didn't know your father, but I'm sure he was a decent man. And I know you act like you talk trash about me, but you really have shown him my videos and stuff, and he's like, "That's a good kid there, Steve. That's a damn good kid you got there. Now take care of him."